Death Valley, an arid and hostile environment at the base of California, a 5,270 square mile sandy valley that sits at the lowest point in the Western Hemisphere, at its Badwater Basin, with bordering mountain ranges to the east and west. Living up to its name, it is the hottest and driest place on Earth, largely the result of the valley's encapsulating mountains and great depth, as air gets hotter with depth and is trapped by the mountains. In 1913, the valley hit a record high temperature of 134 degrees. But how did this heat-acquiring extreme shape of Death Valley form? The answer lies deep in Death Valley's complex, rich history beginning 1.7 billion years ago. The early to mid-history of Death Valley consists of many successive formations of rocks. 1.7 billion years ago, the oldest rocks still intact in Death Valley were metamorphosed from granite, shale, and mudstone to create a gray, crystalline gneiss. 300 million years later, the gneiss complex was intruded by plutons and dikes of granite. During this time, the entire valley descended and filled with sediment, only to be uplifted again, causing erosion to occur on the sediments, which left a 500 million year unconformity. 1.2 billion to 800 million years ago, three formations were laid down. The Pahrump Formation, which consists of Arkose conglomerate and mudstone from streams, and dolomite, limestone, siltstone, and sandstone, most likely from an uplift-caused regression. The Beck Springs Formation, which arrived by the land sinking once again, creating yet another sea that deposited dolomite. The Kingston Peak Formation, containing conglomerates, pebbles, and boulders, that came after another uplift and were broken off the previous two formations by a faster descent of the land. Then, 750 million years ago, a continental rift emerged in the area. Over time, it thinned the crust until finally, the crust could take no more and broke, cracking the supercontinent Rodinia and creating a passive margin. An ever-growing basin formed and filled with water, which in turn laid down the Noonday Dolomite Formation, then after, the siltstone and limestone of the Ibex Formation atop it. Between the time of 750 to about 520 million years ago, the rifting continued, widening the ocean basin and further breaking apart Rodinia. In this newly formed ocean, four more formations were deposited from debris supplied to the ocean by nearby rivers. First, the Johnny Formation, composed of shale. Then the Sterling Quartzite, the Wood Canyon Formation, and the Zabriskie Quartzite, each containing quartz-rich sandstones and conglomerates, later metamorphosed into quartzite. It is within these last formations that the first known fossils of complex life reside. During the period of about 520 to 250 million years ago, rivers began to run clear of the ocean basin, which deprived it of silt and sand, and warmer temperatures arrived, allowing life forms to thrive and deposit carbonate sediments. And thus a carbonate shelf formed in the basin. The basin consists of first the Carrara Formation, the Bonanza Formation, the Nopa Formation, then the Pogo Nip Group, all of which are dolomite and limestone. Interrupting the carbonate shelf 450 million years ago, quartz-rich sand, later metamorphosed into the Eureka Quartzite Formation, was laid down. Concluding the carbonate shelf are four more formations: the Ely Springs Dolomite, the Hidden Valley Dolomite, the Lost Burrow Formation, made of dolomite, and the Tin Mountain Limestone. From 250 to 200 million years ago, the North American continent was pushed into the oceanic plate, creating a subduction zone. This subduction zone caused volcanoes and mountains to form both in and around the trench, replacing the water in it. Thousands of feet of magma erupted in these volcanoes, filling the ocean basin. These violent forces also caused thrust faults that pushed some older formations atop younger ones. From about 200 to 66 million years ago, the compression of the continent continued, along with uplift of the valley, and granitic blobs surfaced. All during this time of volcanic activity and compression, all the way to about 34 million years ago, erosion by streams and other factors occurred, leaving a 216 million year unconformity and a flat plain. The plain was flooded with sluggish streams around 34 million to 27 million years ago that deposited conglomerates, sandstone, and mudstone, which became the Titus Canyon Formation. Similar formations were successively laid down. The plain dried up, and rhyolite ash from eruptions in Nevada filled in any remaining valleys and depressions from about 27 to 20 million years ago and left a flat volcanic plain. The canvas for Death Valley was complete.